AdamandJP.com.
Right now.
Exploring the multiverse of pop culture.
This is Podcasserole.
An Adam and JP show.
Well, hey.
Hey there.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm all right.
It's always a good sign.
Yeah, sure is.
When it starts with an Adam yawn.
You got me good. We're starting this episode almost at midnight.
That's true.
Just behind the scenes there.
It's currently 11:43 on October 4th, 2018.
Do people ever podcast in the morning? We've done a few AM recordings.
Yeah.
It's usually like in a hot, stuffy garage on a Saturday, but it happens.
I feel like I do my best work earlier in the day.
Yeah, I'm definitely more.
Because by now I'm
more
tired.
Alert. Yeah, I'm definitely more alert. This is my second energy drink of the day, and these are the hardcore boys, by the way.
Those are rock stars.
They're the 240 milligrams of caffeine per can.
Wow.
And your standard cup of coffee has 80 milligrams, so you know.
It's a lot of coffee.
Do the math. I've done 6 cups of coffee in a few hours here.
Do the math because I don't want to.
Yeah.
I'm too tired.
Yeah. Halloween is fast approaching, you know.
That's true. And this week, we're going to talk about the Twilight Zone.
We sure are. We've done it before. We have some selections, some private selections.
We have to.
That's a Kroger brand, right?
We have some private selections. Well, actually, we're going with these are we're going to talk about The Eye of the Beholder.
Yeah, they're the standards. I would say.
Time Enough at Last, Nightmare at 20,000 Feet, and It's a Good Life.
You know that mass-produced Three Stooges DVD and VHS tape with the exact same episodes on there?
Yeah.
If they did that for Twilight Zone, this is probably the episodes on that
That's
disc.
true.
Yeah.
Though one of these I had not seen before.
Same
or if
here.
I had, I didn't remember.
Same here. Not until this morning did I watch that, but yeah, it's good.
Before we get into the Halloween Twilight Zone stuff, we should go into our podcasserole Adam and JP roots.
Right, yeah.
Or roots.
Ooh, ruts.
And talk about a couple of comic book-oriented things. Let's start with, and I haven't asked you on the show, and really I haven't asked you in real life that much. What's your thoughts on Art Flick, the Joker?
Oh, yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix.
I wanted to hate that. I did at first.
I really did.
But
I did too.
It really grew on me.
Yeah,
it really grew on me
too.
Yeah.
I'm kind of down to see what they do with
Same
this.
here. And I've been burned before many times. But I'm going to watch this.
This feels like a different burn, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to happen.
And
I think this is going to be good.
I think promotion and advertisement are pretty important, especially for early on theatrical numbers. I will not go see Venom in theaters, but I will go see this Joker movie in theaters. That's where I stand.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Venom.
Yeah,
I will not see Venom. I'll probably eventually see Venom, but I won't see it.
I may red box that, but it's one of those movies, unless some stroke of something happens, I won't like that. I can just watch it. No, I don't care for that.
So this weekend you have Venom, or actually...
This past weekend, yeah.
This past weekend, but in our reality currently, this weekend,
right.
You have Venom and A Star is Born. Would you go see A Star is Born?
No. Not at all.
With Lady Gaga?
No Gaga.
And Bradley Cooper?
I heard that Lady Gaga fans are the ones kind of giving the bad reviews to Venom. Have you heard about that?
Too.
Yeah. It's like an embargo kind of thing going on.
I think that, was it like the DC fans accuse Marvel fans of doing the same thing when a DC movie comes out?
Yeah.
Is this a thing now? Is this really a thing?
It's the fanboys. It's strong, you know.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will not go see Venom.
No.
I probably will see A Star is Born.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because. ...
Yes.
Because it's a music movie.
Yeah.
And I'm in the biz, man.
Yeah. I'm going to pass. That's a hard pass. I think Mamma Mia 2 is still in theater, so I'll go there first. How about that?
But I will see this. I guess we don't know what the name of the Joker movie is.
No, not
we
yet.
don't know a name.
I don't think so.
Do you think his character's name is actually Arthur Fleck? A Fleck?
I think
or
so.
do you think that's like an inside joke?
That's funny. I didn't think about that. Yeah. I think that's his real name. I think.
And it doesn't bother you that Batman's not going to be in this?
No. If they can make a Venom movie with zero Spider-Man, so they say.
But it looks terrible.
Right.
And by all accounts, it is.
But clearly, Joker's a much stronger standalone villain than Venom will ever want to be.
True.
I think if they do that, Joker can definitely do it. That's always our beef. When you see The Dark Knight, I want more Joker. When I saw Suicide Squad, the movie sucked, but I kind of want to see more of that Joker.
Right.
And so now we're having a Joker movie. I can't be mad about that.
This is all Joker.
Yeah. Even in Batman '89, like the scenes were chewed up well by Jack Nicholson. It's true. He was a highlight. Yeah, it's true.
He really was.
Yeah, you always want more Joker. Even Mark Hamill, when he's in animated series, you want more Mark Hamill.
I think that's one of the reasons why I kind of petered out on the Arkham Asylum games.
Yeah, you think so?
Because I knew the Joker wasn't in the third one.
Right. I just now started playing
is
Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight, yeah.
I started playing that. Have you seen the opening to that? It's weird.
Yes.
Yeah, where you actually have to incinerate Joker. Like your triggers are doing it.
I played that.
Yeah.
And I didn't go any further than that.
Are you serious? That was it?
Like I just had to burn the Joker. Why do I want to play this? He's my favorite part of these games.
Wow.
So I ask you this, and you said you didn't think so. The makeup that we have for Arthur Fleck, the Joker, Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
You don't think that's in any way a nod to the Nolan
I don't think so.
movie?
That's a stretch for me.
Even though it looks like the mask that the Joker's gang wore at the beginning.
You think so?
It's the same face, just the colors are reversed. The eye and the mouth makeup are reversed, but it's the same face.
It's just reds and blues and whites, just clowns. I think it's that's a little deep. I think. I've heard that theory, and I see no resemblance whatsoever.
Okay,
that's
fair.
You think so, though?
Well, you also like Psycho 2.
I don't see why he would do that. There's no connection whatsoever. No, I don't know.
I'm curious.
I'm excited for this, though. Because for the first time, I could be wrong. I probably am. But I've never seen a Joker with a red nose, like an actual clown nose before, and here we have it. It's painted on, so it's not a physical nose, but it's still there.
And Joaquin Phoenix is just crazy enough to pull this off.
For sure, yeah. Yeah.
Did you see I'm Not Here?
Yes, yeah.
What did you think of that?
I liked it a lot. I mean, for what, a year and a half, he was doing that.
But it was all performance art.
Yeah, but no one... He really Andy Kaufman
it was sold to us as a documentary.
Yeah, I remember seeing multiple times on a Letterman or Leno. Like, wow, he's actually crazy now.
But he wasn't.
Right.
It was all for a film.
Same as...
Do you think Letterman was in on it?
I don't know. I don't know about him.
I think
never tell.
I think if it was Leno, he wouldn't have been in on it.
Right.
But I think the fact that it was Letterman, he was probably in on it.
Was he in on the...
Andy Kaufman?
Yeah, Andy Kaufman Lawler?
Yeah.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
It's like Shia LaBeouf. I think he's still doing that. And he's went so far that people think he's just actually a douchebag. But it's all performance for him. I know it is.
There was one other comic book thing I wanted to talk about, and I don't remember what it was.
Captain Marvel.
Oh, Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that trailer?
Once again, I'm impressed.
Me too.
Yeah.
You got me when you show Blockbuster Video at the beginning.
That's perfect because it shows a setting, a time. You know you are.
I know I'm in 1990 something.
Marvel. I'll keep shining it up for them. They are great at that.
The de-aging of Sam Jackson looks good.
Right, yeah.
I hear tell that we may see how he loses his eye.
Oh, nice.
In this movie.
That's good.
It's something that I've heard in the ether.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Plus, that is our first step into Infinity War 2.
Right.
Or Avengers 4, whatever it's going to be called.
Fence. Marvel is smart about that in all realms of their media. Of course, there's a new Captain Marvel comic line out. It's everywhere. I'm on the fence. Do I go deep down and start learning about that character, or do I go into this movie pretty clueless? Because I did that with Guardians of the Galaxy, and I loved it so much.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if I knew more about those characters beforehand, would I love the movie as much as I did? So I don't know. Do I go in blind to the character, or do I have some back research? How do I take this? Because I admittedly, I'm oblivious to this character.
I would go in blind.
I know the actual Captain Marvel, Shazam.
Because I think...
but not Carol Danvers here, not her.
I think what you're going to get if you were to research is just more of the background of who she's going to interact with in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much her character. I think you'll learn everything you need to know about her character in the movie. But you could go in and see how Ronan the Destroyer actually plays into her mythology as well as in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know, he was in the first Guardians movie. I think he's in this. So I would go in. I wouldn't research it.
Yeah.
Just go in and enjoy the
Yeah.
movie for what it is.
It's gonna be good.
Don't take any baggage. I think if we've learned anything with these geek nerd movies over the last few years, the less baggage you take in with it, the more you're going to enjoy the movie.
True.
If you don't put, I don't know, say for instance, Suicide Squad on a pedestal that it could be the greatest film of all time,
Yeah.
and then it doesn't turn out to be, you might have enjoyed it more.
Those trailers were so good. You can't deny it. They were misleading.
I know. They were very misleading.
Yeah.
The trailers were much better than the movie turned out
By
to be.
far.
Same thing with, Justice League. I don't know. But what's a good example of one that maybe... Oh, here we go. Last Jedi.
Yeah.
I think Star Wars fans took so much baggage into The Last Jedi.
With what they want to happen and what should happen.
Exactly.
The fact you're given an actual creative story, it's not what you want it to be, and it's still good. People get mad because it's not what they thought in their head.
They're handicapped
Yeah.
to actually enjoy the movie that they're presented with, which I thought was a fantastic film.
Yeah.
Sans one scene.
Yeah, yeah.
There's one scene that really bothers me in that.
Old Poppins.
Yeah, I did not.
I
was
told
not
you
a
I went
fan.
back and watched that recently. It's still all right to me, but definitely not as much as I did love it.
Really?
Yeah, it's going down.
I think you're letting the negative...
You think so? I don't know, because
I think the internet's weighing heavy on your
it was out
heart.
there for Force Awakens, too, and I still love Force Awakens.
Force Awakens is great.
It's fantastic.
Fourth Awakens.
Yeah.
Anything else we need to catch up on?
I think that's about it.
Oh, hey, locally, we should have talked about this last week. We have a festival every year here called Pilgrimage Festival.
Right, yeah. It's kind of a debacle, right?
Big music festival that goes over 2 days. Scheduled to perform at Pilgrimage Festival 2018 was Jack White, Chris Stapleton, who else? Lionel Richie.
Yeah.
There was another one. Oh,
Dave Matthews was
Dave
there.
Matthews.
Yeah.
None of them performed.
No.
It was a 2-day festival, got 4 hours in.
Yeah.
Some rain showed up, and they canceled the whole thing.
Yeah, that was crazy, right?
Crazy.
It's my first year not going. What a year to miss it, eh?
Yeah, well, you didn't miss anything.
Literally.
You missed 4 songs by the Counting Crows.
Right.
Did you see the picture of me and the Counting
I did.
Crows? Wow. They're so tall.
Yeah, that's a word. That's a good word for it.
The day the Counting Crows made me feel small.
Yeah.
I look like a little kid. What's the lead singer, Adam? I can't think of his last
The
name.
Duritz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's super tall.
It's the dreads, man.
I guess.
Adds a good 4 or 5 inches.
Does it?
Yeah, I think so.
Because he's towering above me. You didn't seem that tall in the 90s when you were dating Courtney Cox.
I thought it was Jennifer Aniston.
He dated them both.
Really? Wow.
He dated Courtney Cox. He went out with Jennifer Aniston.
What was the difference?
He had a long relationship with Courtney Cox. He went out on a date with Jennifer Aniston.
So he Psycho 3'd Courtney Cox, Psycho 2 Jennifer Aniston?
Sure.
Adam Duritz's height is 6 feet, even.
Yeah, well, that's a tall 6 feet.
I'm telling you, it's the dreads.
He's a big guy. He's a big guy. I felt super small
Yeah.
next to him.
Jennifer Aniston, 5'5". I got excited about that. Jennifer Aniston, she's 5'5". People also search for. I didn't think she was that short.
Gorge.
Wow.
Anything else we need to cover before we get into the Twilight Zone?
I think that's about it.
Actually, there's 2 things we need to do. Do you want to do Adam's Ghost at the end?
Yeah, we can do that.
If we have some time at the end,
Yeah.
we'll do a round of Adam's
If we
Ghost.
do, yeah.
Because I feel like we're really slacking on Adam's Ghost this Halloween.
Well, I'm waiting for people to give me a good location. I'm waiting for that big story, you know? Haven't had it yet this year.
No, we haven't. We haven't had a Lady in the Lake.
No. I need people to give me recommendations.
We haven't had the Leaving Candy on a Bridge.
Right? Or the, what was the one we had 2 years ago?
The Cow Man.
Yeah. What was the name of that?
What was his name?
I forgot. Wow. If you remember that, let us know.
Half cow, half man.
Yeah. We had people write in like illustrations of it and all kinds of stuff.
We have not had that.
Wow.
We need a winner.
Wow.
Oh, there is one thing we need to do before we get into the Twilight Zone.
What's that?
The SOB OTW. It's real easy to be the SOB OTW.
You know, it's all about that social media interaction. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Let us know what's up. Talk to us, email us, message us. You speak to us, we'll reply back and maybe read it on the air.
Perhaps.
Which is what we're going to do this week for Cameron. And I believe every Halloween season, the past year or so, Cameron has written in. I believe so.
Cameron loves the Halloween.
Which who doesn't?
Podcast rolls.
He has a great I won't give it out, but a good Halloween-themed email address. His subject he wrote to us was Halloween Horror Nights. He says, I just wanted to say thanks for talking about Halloween Horror Nights because my girlfriend and I decided to go last weekend, and it didn't disappoint. The Stranger Things house was exceptional, as was the Slaughterhouse Cinema. That's all. If you get to go, I'd love to hear what you think about this year. New science. I think he says system.
Rules.
Rules. That's funny.
Well, I'm not making it this year.
Yeah, same.
I went last year.
Yeah.
Halloween Horror Nights.
Mm-hmm.
It was very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Go back about a year in the podcast. You can hear me talk about The Purge.
I need to go. I've been there, but never during Halloween.
American Horror Story. Evil Dead
Uh-huh.
were some of the themes last year.
That's awesome.
We did like 23 haunted houses in one night.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
We almost went this year. Except
Yeah.
we weren't going to go to Universal in Florida. We were going to actually go out to the best coast, the left coast,
Dang.
the west coast,
Wow.
and do Universal Studios Hollywood.
Wow.
But we didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't.
We
probably...
It adds up.
Yeah.
You saved a few thousand.
Yeah, that's true. we saved a little money
Yeah.
not going this year.
Right.
But next year,
Doing
we're
it?
definitely...
Yeah.
Our good, best family friends...
So good you forgot their name. Okay.
Josh of Brooklyn. It's Brooke. To me, she's Brooke.
Yeah.
But I always try to say Brooklyn on the show.
Why's that?
Well, that's what we've always called her. And so when I go to say her name, I have to say it correctly.
Well, same for you. I've done it for years, this facade.
Well, but you've gotten really good at it.
Yeah.
Is it still weird?
No, sometimes. I just have to go into a character mode.
Well, now that we're, laying all the cards on the table, Adam's name is actually Xavier.
Yeah, that's it. Adam's just a stage name.
But Xavier and JP
Right.
did not sound good.
Didn't work so well.
No.
And then the Deadpool movie came out and the jokes about Professor X.
Right.
I didn't do it. Booger Jim, by the way.
Booger Jim.
Yeah. Booger Jim's hollow.
Oh, I don't have it turned on.
No,
Never
it's
mind.
okay.
But yeah, they're going.
Nice.
Josh and Brooklyn.
Okay.
Are going to Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
In Florida.
Nice.
I think I can say that.
Why not?
I don't know. It's like they do a lot of surprises for people, and sometimes I spoil those surprises.
That happened?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of surprise is this, though?
Josh's kids going to Disneyland, and I spoiled it.
What?
Yeah.
For who?
Last year when they did the big cross country,
Yeah?
and then I flew out and met them.
Yeah.
Out in Nevada.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that they didn't know that part of the trip was Disneyland. And so we're all at the big family breakfast as they're about to head off. And I'm like, well, when you guys get to Disneyland, you're going to love it. It was a surprise. I spoiled the surprise.
Weird.
Minutes before the trip started.
I thought you meant they listened to the show and heard that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I hope I'm not, I hope I'm not spoiling
Wow.
that they're going to Halloween Horror Nights.
The whole crew's going?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Don't listen.
I don't know. Should I take this out? I don't know.
I don't think they listen. I don't think his children listen.
What?
Well, I don't think so.
High school kids are listening to this.
I don't think so. If I had to guess, I would
Well,
say
last week we talked about hair implants.
yeah, hair implants and Psycho 4. I don't think that's kind of their crowd.
You don't think our demo's 18 to 34?
That is true. The most recent movie we talked about last week was 1990, right? And hair transplants.
1998.
That's true. The remake. And the newish
and the Bates
series.
Motel series.
Yeah, that's it. We're hyper cool. It was on what, A&E? That's a good fun channel, right?
Well, if you think we were current last week,
yeah,
get ready for 1960s magic.
Take out
Twilight
that color,
Zone.
bring it back. We're smoking on screen. That's what we're doing.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's a lot of smoking on screen.
A lot of smoking.
A lot.
Yeah.
Like it was almost like the go-to if you need your character to do something in a 1960s series. Have them pull out a pack of cigarettes and smoke.
Right.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
We're going to break down a few episodes here, but what's your overall... Do you love it? Have you always loved it?
Always loved it. I say it often. It may kind of go back and forth, but if I had the majority of my life, if I were asked, Adam, what is your favorite television show of all time, I'll usually say The Twilight Zone. It's fantastic. so many episodes. I've seen a lot of the biggest episodes many times, but to this day, there's still some episodes I had never seen before. One of these we'll talk about in a few minutes. I didn't see until about 16 hours ago.
Do you want to start with that one?
We can, yeah. But that gives me hope that I really want to start Season 1, Episode 1, and go through the whole series because there were dozens of episodes I hadn't even seen before. And my favorite one could be out there still.
We're going to start with Season 3,
Yeah.
Episode 8, It's a Good Life.
Yeah.
Which this was in the original series, and this was also when they did the Twilight Zone, the movie. This was one of the segments in Twilight Zone, the movie. They remade this story. And I had not seen this. If I had, I did not remember it. And I'd seen the movie version of this. But this creepy kid in this Ohio town basically can do anything with his mind. That's
Right.
the setup for this.
They keep referring to him as the monster.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't understand it as, was he a normal child born and one day he had this gift or curse, or was it actually a monster that came down taking the form of a child? They never really explained that, right? I'm not bashing it. I'm just curious, is that an interpretation thing?
Well, I think it's his birth parents.
Yeah.
So I assume that this was a genetic
Mutation
power
of sorts? Yeah.
that he possessed.
Okay.
That he could control and do anything with his mind.
Yeah.
And Rod Serling sets it up that he's basically isolated this town from the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.
There's no
electricity.
automobiles.
Yeah. Stone Ages pretty much.
Electricity.
Yeah.
And everyone panders to this kid.
Well, you
He's
have
what,
to.
10?
Yeah, around that. But you have to.
He could just kill you.
Yeah.
Or worse.
And he can read your mind, so you have any negative thought. You have to think good thoughts at all time, especially about him.
And the way they interact with him.
That's creepy.
Was it Anthony? Is that his name?
Yeah.
You're doing a real fine job. That's a
Yeah.
real fine. What you doing there, Anthony? You're doing a real fine job.
Everyone loves you. They sure do like you, Anthony.
You're everybody's favorite, Anthony. You're doing real good. That's mighty fine. You're doing mighty fine things there, Anthony.
Anthony Fremont is supposed to be 6 years old.
So he's 6.
The actor's a little bit older than that, though. But
Yeah,
a supposed
slightly.
6-year-old.
And just the way this kid fills the hours of the day, he like mutates gophers into
Right. Yeah, 3-headed gophers, and a certain night of the week is TV time. And he'll just kind of, whatever he wants to be on TV, the whole town, a group of people gather around to watch this terrible programming.
dinosaurs killing each other. Claymation dinosaurs killing each other.
Yeah.
And well, what you got there, and the reaction that they have, like, what you got there, Anthony? And it's what you don't see in the series, but I made a 3-headed gopher.
Yeah.
Well, that's real fine. That's real. I'm sure that gopher's real
disgusted, yeah.
happy. And he kills animals.
He does. Dogs are barking and bother him out in the fields. He takes care of them. They refer to it as, put in the cornfield?
Yeah.
What does that mean exactly? How'd you take that?
I took that.
Because they never, of course, being in the 60s on TV like that, they wouldn't show any
I think
gore.
that was a euphemism for death.
Yeah.
I think that, because especially when you think about in the 60s, 6-year-old kid.
Right.
There's some limits that they're going to have to say. So I think they put him in the cornfield as a euphemism for kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they didn't do that, then later in this episode, you're going to have the father tell the kid to kill one of their neighbors.
Yeah.
And I don't think they would have done that, even on the Twilight Zone in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was a euphemism. Put him in the cornfield. Kill him.
Yeah.
Because that's what he did with the dog. He killed the dog.
Right. Yeah.
And they said, well, I put him in the cornfield because he hated me. This kid is so creepy. This is the creepiest kid I've ever seen. Like, I was really creeped out by this kid.
Yeah.
I could tell that dog didn't like me. He's mean. But I fall for it every time. And then we were talking about this before recording. I always think there's going to be a happy ending.
You do, don't you?
I always think,
turn around.
something will happen to
Yeah.
him at the end
No.
that resolves everything that's happened in this episode.
The night of TV time or TV night, it's a certain gentleman's birthday. He gets a little drunk, a little tipsy, and he kind of goes off on Anthony.
Yeah.
Kind of tells him how things were better.
Rightfully so.
Things were better back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Anthony doesn't like that, and pretty much in the snap of his finger or thought in his mind turns this drunken fool into a living jack-in-the-box. Cuts to everyone, shrieks back in horror. They don't see any gore, of course. A close-up of his face with the flopping head back and forth. And you cut to a silhouette shadow on the wall of his head, as inside the actual jack-in-the-box.
Uh-huh.
People are shrieking in terror. And as the dust settles down, they look outside. And it's been super hot this whole time. People are sweating.
Right.
They're saying how miserable it is. Not in front of Anthony.
No.
It's kind of warm. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
But then it starts snowing randomly. And then Anthony's father gets mad and says at least half of the crops will die now. You see a fire in Anthony's eyes, and then the father settles down.
Yeah.
And that's when you kind of realize, like, wow, these people are prisoners in every way, shape, or form.
Such a good episode.
Yeah.
After watching that, I could see why, if you search the top episodes of the Twilight Zone, this comes up on that list.
Yeah.
Because
they tell such a good story in what, 26 minutes?
About 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I think there's one commercial break, right?
Yeah, I
if
think
you
back
watch
then,
it,
yeah.
There's the beginning, then there's a break, and then there's one commercial break actually during the story.
Yeah.
And then here's some fun facts about It's a Good Life. The Rod Serling open at the beginning, where he states this episode or this story calls for a different type of introduction. Mm-hmm. And he's standing in front of a map of the United States. And he says something along the lines of, as you can see, I'm standing in front of a map of the United States. And then he points out the Ohio town. That portion where he says it calls for a different kind of an introduction, you can see I'm standing in front. If you go to Disney World and go to the Tower of Terror ride, they've lifted that intro to incorporate into the ride. Wow. And when you're in the queue for Tower of Terror and the Twilight Zone comes up on the screen, Rod Serling comes up and he goes, tonight's story calls for a different type of introduction. As you can see, I'm standing in front of a maintenance elevator.
In front of a maintenance elevator.
Yeah. It's better than that.
It is, yeah, it is good.
But that's where they get. So if you know what I'm talking about from Tower of Terror, which is a fantastic ride.
Oh, great.
One of my favorites of all time.
That's good, yeah. That's the only Disney World ride I have a T-shirt of.
Tower of Terror?
That's the one, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was a fan.
They lifted that intro from It's a Good Life.
That's crazy.
I tried to find it to play it, but I couldn't find a good version to play it.
Yeah.
Apparently, they keep that stuff locked down on YouTube.
Weird, huh? But Cloris Leachman is the mother.
A really attractive Cloris Leachman. I always think of Cloris Leachman as 60 plus.
Well, yeah. that was the 70s, right?
Well, yeah, this is only like 10 years earlier.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
How did she age so fast in 10 years? She pulled a Shawn Michaels.
I've heard stories that back in the day, Betty White was attractive, but in my head, I can't see an attractive Betty White. I just can't do it.
Yeah, this jumped to one of my favorites of all time.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
It is, yeah.
As we mentioned, when they did Twilight Zone the movie, Joe Dante directed the story for the movie. And they switched it around. They modernized it. And I think in the film, in Twilight Zone the movie, he turns one of the characters into the Tasmanian Devil.
Really? Why have I never
but
seen
you
that
actually
movie?
you see it.
That movie's tough to find. Like it's no streaming. Is it available to purchase?
There's a lot of baggage with that movie
right,
too.
Yeah.
Namely, they killed some people making
I just
that
don't
movie.
think I've seen it to even purchase. I'm sure it's there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to buy it right now.
You're going to buy the Twilight Zone?
I'm curious. I'll see the prices on it.
Oh, you're just going to check it out.
Yeah.
You're not actually going to purchase it.
The movie, I'm curious of the price of the movie.
The first podcast roll purchase happens right now.
But it's a good episode. I like it.
In the early 2000s, they did a revival series, and then they did a sequel to this called It's Still a Good Life, where Anthony is middle-aged now, and he has a daughter, Audrey, who has inherited his powers. So it's clearly a genetic power from birth.
Right, yeah.
And the actor, Bill Mumy, who played Anthony in the series, comes back, and his mother is played by Cloris Leachman.
So same actor for the boy, huh?
Yep.
Wow. Didn't know that.
Yeah. And then Audrey, is his daughter in the reprisal series, is played by Bill Mumy's real-life daughter.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's all I've got on It's a Good Life.
So in doing small research here, I believe Twilight Zone the movie is out of print is the problem. There's no Blu-ray release of it at all from what I see. There's one version on DVD, and it's on Amazon Prime. So through Amazon, it's not from a hiked-up reseller, for $41 the DVD is.
You can't rent it?
No.
On Amazon Prime?
For $10 to rent.
Oh, that might be worth renting.
Because I've never seen it. It's just not one of those, it's not accessible. That's in that media purgatory.
You should rent. For $10, you should rent it.
You just watch it
Amazon
5 times.
Prime. You have Amazon Prime, right?
Yeah. Just film it with my phone so I can watch it later on.
Well, no, I'm just saying, if you've never seen it,
but
it's worth $10 to watch.
A $10 rent? Man.
But you've never seen it.
Yeah, but
and you're never gonna see it.
Yeah, but
unless you pay the $40 to own it.
Yeah, isn't that weird? 4104 with Prime to be exact.
You know what's happening? We're
that?
slowly getting back to the early '80s when home video was like $200.
It's almost obsolete. If it's not streaming, it costs $40.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, there's an old. I was in the mood for it back in the maybe early to mid '90s. A movie on the Disney Channel about a mummy called Under Wraps. It's not streaming anywhere. Now, if you go look up how much it costs to buy Under Wraps, sometimes triple digits to buy a DVD of Under Wraps from the Disney Channel, a Disney Channel movie.
What's in the vault?
I guess. Under Wraps. I'll check it right now. But yeah, last I checked, Under Wraps was up there.
I bet when Disney launches their streaming service next year,
it's possible.
That'll be on there.
It's possible.
Next episode comes from.
Oh, you're good.
Price?
Under Wraps, yeah, from 2005. I thought it was earlier, but 2005 Under Wraps on Amazon Prime. $113.49 right now to buy DVD.
Really?
$113.49 to buy from Amazon Prime. Wow. For real, yeah. Under Wraps, check it out. A crappy Disney movie from 2005.
Who's in it?
No one that we would even know.
Hillary Duff.
No, it's not. It's just a bunch of no names.
Haley Duff.
No.
What's her sister's name?
Haley. Yeah.
Haley.
Yeah.
Hillary and Haley.
So that's Under Wraps.
Next one.
Yeah.
Nightmare at 20,000 Feet.
A
classic Twilight Zone episode.
When I think of Twilight Zone episodes, I think of this.
Because the shat has hit the fan.
It sure did. It sure did.
William Shatner.
Yeah.
Was this before Star Trek, or was he doing Star Trek?
This was before.
Was
right?
it?
Yeah.
This was
Star Trek starts in what, 68?
Yeah, this was 63.
3? Yeah.
So guy gets on a plane.
Right. Now, the backstory was 6 months prior, correct? He had a mental breakdown.
On a plane.
On a plane. They stopped the plane from taking off, and he's in the mental hospital for 6 months. Is released from the mental hospital, starts heading back home after the 6 month stint in the mental hospital, gets on the plane and starts freaking out again, and things happen.
There's a man on the plane.
Yeah.
There's a man on the wing.
On the wing, yeah.
There's a man on the wing.
No, all right. And this, he's either the only or one of the only passengers on the plane, correct? It's kind of a barren plane.
No. There's several people on the plane.
Other people?
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought the focus was on him.
There's his wife.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
There's a cop.
Because he's trying to talk to people and freak them out. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
There's the flight attendant, known as a stewardess.
Yeah.
In this, a lot of takeaways from this episode of Twilight. First of all, there is a lot of smoking.
Oh yeah,
takes place in this one. Mm-hmm. The flight attendants are called stewardesses in this one.
Is that a bad term now?
I think I
didn't know that.
It's a dated term.
Really, it's in my head. It's interchangeable still. Okay.
Flight attendant.
Yeah.
No, didn't you remember Austin Powers? Bring on the sexy stews. We're called flight attendants.
I guess I'd forgotten.
Yeah, this is like 20 minutes of him just looking out a plane window.
Yeah.
That's all this is.
As far as plot, we can't talk about it because it's just...
No, but the story is it really there, or is he suffering another mental breakdown?
The imageries, and this is what? Is this season 1, season 2?
This is season 5.
Was it 5?
Yeah.
So, okay. I thought it was earlier for some reason.
Mm-hmm. And he even says, I can only see it because when anybody else looks out, he's not there.
Yeah.
He goes away. And the scenes where the gremlin, that's what they end up calling.
Yeah.
It's the gremlin. The scenes when he, like, the way they shot it, because he'll be trying to take the plane apart.
Yeah.
And then he'll look over and he'll see somebody's about to look out. And so he'll just put his arms up and just fly off the wing. And then when they go away, he like gently lands back on the wing and then makes eye contact with William Shatner.
Yeah.
Shatner's great in this. Shatner is fantastic in this.
He's good.
Episode.
He's frantic. We'll say that.
Another takeaway. Stewardess, smoking, and a lot of reference to sleeping pills in this.
Right, yeah, quite a bit.
Like, his wife falls asleep shortly after takeoff. And then she wakes up and she says, I shouldn't have taken that sleeping pill.
Yeah. That's kind of, when I went to Hawaii, I took a Dramamine, and that put me out.
You think it's the same thing?
It made me sleep.
And then after he starts to freak out, she convinces him, she's like, you just take your sleeping pill. And so he takes a sleeping pill. And then later, when the pilot gets involved, and he's not having any of this, he gives him a stronger sleeping pill. But it turns out, when the episode ends, there really was a gremlin on the plane.
Yeah.
Trying to take the wing apart. Because you see where he was taking it apart.
But a happier ending here.
Not really.
The thing is kind of crazy.
No, because you know what Shatner ends up doing, right?
What does he do? It's been a while.
He looks back and he sees like the cops on the plane.
Yeah.
And he sees the cop's gun. So he goes and he acts like he drops his pack of cigarettes.
Uh-huh.
And when he goes to pick it up, he sneaks the gun out of the holster, puts it in his coat, goes back to his seat. Gremlin lands back on the wing, and he opens the emergency window, which causes all the. What did he do? Oh, he gets his wife to leave first, so she doesn't get sucked out.
Yeah.
Then he straps himself in, opens the emergency window, and shoots the gremlin.
Yeah.
Of course, he gets sucked out of the plane. So now he's at 20,000 feet, hanging out of the plane because he's still strapped into his seat.
Yeah.
It's some great acting.
Yeah.
So your happy ending is him actually being carted out.
Right, yeah.
Strapped down to a gurney, being carted out of the plane.
I remember that,
That's how it
yeah.
ends. But then when it pans up, you see the panel that the gremlin was trying to open is actually pried up.
Yeah.
That's Nightmare at 20,000 feet.
Do you think that Gremlin follows him, and 6 months prior he did see that as well and had the freak out on the plane? Maybe he was never crazy. Maybe he was just seeing what he saw.
See, that's the takeaway I have.
Yeah.
Is that he was never crazy.
Yeah.
He never had a nervous breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
This all, he's being followed by this creature.
What's reality there? It's the Bubba Hotep.
It kind of is.
Is that Elvis Presley, or is it a crazy man thinking he's Elvis Presley? Is that JFK, or just a man thinking he's JFK?
It might be JFK.
Did you ever see Bubba Hotep? It's good. You should watch it. It's good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's good. Bruce
Campbell, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's
Yeah.
Bubba Hotep.
Did you think that was Elvis? That's always my question. Was that Elvis Presley, or was that an old man being senile thinking he was Elvis Presley?
Well, I know that wasn't JFK.
I mean, if we're talking mummies coming back, the story was the brain swap and the CIA.
That's true.
Then
maybe it was.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe they were both.
I was curious if that was an actual character or like someone crazy thinking they were their character. Maybe that was Elvis, but the guy thinking he was JFK was crazy.
It's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, you don't know.
Did you ever see FDR versus Zombies?
Yeah. Or FDR, American Badass, right?
Oh, that's what it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of polio.
Yeah. I forgot about that, yeah.
In 1983, for Twilight Zone the movie, this segment was also remade, directed by George Miller.
Man.
And John Lithgow plays the Shatner character.
For $41, we can see that.
Yeah.
Or $10 a rent.
True. You could.
Yeah.
You could. You should watch it. You've never seen it?
No, never saw it.
It's worth $10 just to watch
It's tough to find.
Time Enough at Last.
Aha.
That's the next we're going to talk about. This is one of your personal favorites.
It is, yeah. Because Mr. Burgess Meredith. I love it so much. So it reminds me of, there was a time in 2013, 2014, I had multiple jobs. I was working 60 to 70 hours a week. And eventually my schedules lined up where I had 3 days off in a row from all jobs and all responsibilities. It was fresh in my Xbox One days. So I have 3 days straight of gaming. I have time to play these games.
Time enough at last.
Finally settle down, wake up, do my morning activities, settle in, still in my undies, turn the Xbox One on. It didn't come on. And that 3 days ahead of me, and I was like, no. And the first thing I thought of, that's how much that episode is ingrained in my mind. The first thing I thought of was Burgess Meredith in the scenario, where this man loves books so much, it's all he wants to do is read books.
So if we made this today, you'd be called into your boss's office.
Yeah.
And he would say something along the lines of, Adam, you're what we call a gamer.
Right.
Because he does that.
Yeah.
You're what we call a reader. You just read all the time.
Yeah.
You read on your lunch break.
Yeah.
You game on your lunch break.
So his character soaks it in, loves books, can't get enough of them, has these big, thick Coy McCoy glasses.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, and not a very desirable spouse.
No, she's very, very unpleasant.
She plays tricks on him.
Oh, yeah.
Like when he's sitting at home just reading the paper, she comes in and rips the paper.
Right.
We're going to go play cards with our friends. And so he's thinking, I can go play cards. I can get ready. Oh, I've got a book hidden under the chair. And so he reaches in.
That man loves books.
And he puts it in his coat. And then she meets him at the door. What's in your pocket? Nothing. Is there a book in there? Do you like to read?
They like to read. She was mean. I forgot how mean she was.
And when
to
she
him.
pulls the book out, she had gone through and X'd out every page of the book. She hates. Why does everyone hate reading so much in this?
I think it's just he does it so much. People don't like him doing it so much.
I would like to take the people from this episode and bring them to 2018 where no one reads.
That's true.
What do you think of readers now?
Yeah, what do you think of that?
Yeah.
But he always finds a secret spot to read his books because he's kind of embarrassed and ashamed. Finally, one day he goes into the bank vault there. It's his favorite place to read his books, to his own, privacy. Stories happen of, was it an H-bomb to come hit?
Yeah, he's reading the paper. It says the H-bomb could destroy the world or something like that.
And his perfect timing would have it. The bank vault shakes, and the H-bomb hit.
Mm-hmm.
The world outside as he knew it is gone, desecrated, just rubble, alone. And come to find out, this man, all he has left now is just he and his books.
And radiation poisoning.
They didn't even talk about that too much, did they?
No.
So he himself, he has time enough at last to read all the books he wants in the world.
I love his dialogue with himself.
Yeah, yeah.
When he finds the food, I have to eat.
There's one problem, though. You have to have those good, thick glasses to read these books. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you have more than one pair?
See, or wouldn't there, if you could find food, and he has found everything he needs, up to a gun to commit suicide with.
Yeah.
Which he almost does.
Yeah.
It's actually seeing the public library is what stops him from committing suicide.
Mm-hmm.
He's found everything he needs.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he can find another pair of glasses.
Yeah, but the glasses get destroyed. And therefore, it's ironic in the fact that he has all the time in the world to do the one thing he truly loves, reading books, and his one tool he needs to do that, his glasses, are gone. It's sad.
That is one of the best scenes in Twilight Zone history, is where the books are stacked on the steps coming down the public library. And he goes, February, March, April, May. And he goes, next year, the year after that. And he's just have all these stacks of books. And then takes one wrong step.
Yeah.
He reaches for a book. He reaches for the book that he had, right? It was David Copperfield?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And those Coke bottles are gone.
Coke bottles be gone.
Burgess Meredith is really good in this.
He's great. In general, he's a good actor. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You kind of forget he's not just Mickey Goldmill.
Or the Penguin.
Right, yeah. Or the creepy dad from Angry, what's it called?
Beavers?
Grumpy Old Man. I forgot, yeah.
Oh,
that's Jack Lemmon's father. That he's kind of,
you
want to tickle my pickle? He's having the creepy little one-liners the whole time. Remember that? He's kind of a creepo.
They're remaking that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
With who?
Who did I hear was going to be in it?
Wow. Like Chevy Chase and Bill Murray or something?
Somebody. They're not that old. Eddie Murphy?
What?
And I forget who
He's not
else.
that old. You have to be old.
Eddie Murphy's about the age that Jack Lemmon was in the original Grumpy Old Man.
Wow. Buddy Love aged well. He did.
Yeah, plus he can do the makeup.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done that before.
Oh, yeah.
Burgess Meredith is great in this.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if this was not done for Twilight Zone, the movie. Oh, here we go. Twilight Zone Tower of Terror at Disney Hollywood Studios. And I don't know if I've seen this in California or in Florida. I think it's Florida. When you walk into the queue, one of the displays is the broken glasses.
Oh, really?
That's
pretty
Henry
cool.
Bemis's broken
wow.
glasses.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. And I think there's a note on there that tells you that's who it is.
What's about? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
A lot of references to this through many other mediums.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's one of my favorites.
It's a great story. It's very simple. I mean, it's just you can tell the plot in a 2-sentence structure, but it's fun. It sticks with you. It's a sad one.
Which brings us to, again, is one of the quintessential Twilight Zone episodes, Eye of the Beholder.
Right. It's classic.
And if you don't know Eye of the Beholder, basically you see a woman wrapped in gauze. She is horribly disfigured. The doctors have done surgery and injections. And at first it seems pretty typical.
Yeah, nothing strange is happening
Like
just yet.
she's just trying to recover from something. They do. You do notice instantly. You don't see anybody's face.
Right. Yeah. You may see some shadows in the wall or some back shots of shoulders,
but then they start dropping little hints that this is one of the most political episodes of the Twilight Zone.
You think so?
And it really feels like it might be Trump's America.
How is that?
Well, they start dropping words like the government wants, you're at your limit of surgeries that you can have. That the state, that's what they keep saying, the state has allowed you to come in here, and the state this and the state that. And you don't realize it, but you're living in some sort of everything's state run. It's there's a supreme leader that comes up on the TV.
Right, yeah.
That's giving this speech. Like it's a very dystopian future or wherever that this takes place in. But the gist of the story is you see her under the gauze the entire time. You're curious if this surgery has been a success.
She just wants to look normal.
She just wants to be normal. The nurses talk about how hideous she is. The doctors talk about how hideous she is. And finally they take the gauze off and she looks totally normal.
Yeah, pretty even. But
then it's everybody else that have the pig faces.
Mm-hmm. It's the old Marilyn Munster effect, I call it.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. So, yeah, it's called Eye of the Beholder. And so she's going to be sent to some state-run facility where people like her. See, that's another thing. There's like racial. This was in the 60s. And she even, because they even tell her, we're going to send you to a community with others like you that are different. And you all will live together.
Yeah. She kind of loses it, right? She's
she goes,
consoled,
that's not called rehabilitation. That's called segregation. It's not rehabilitation. It's segregation. So there's all these overtones of racial and politics and foreshadowing of Donald Trump as president. Because I really feel like if given his choice, this is the kind of country you'd be living in. Only the pretty people are allowed to walk around, except him.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, Eye of the Beholder, definitely one of those episodes that you think about.
Yeah.
Did you watch this one this week?
Not this week. I've seen it many times before, but it's been a while.
This was one of the early ones.
Yeah,
this was season 2, episode 6.
If you just do like an image search of Twilight Zone, odds are the classic pig-faced nurses' faces will come up eventually. It's a classic image.
And to tell you or show you the difference in when this originally aired to now, I watched this on Netflix, which was a high-definition version of this. You can tell the doctors aren't wearing the makeup at the beginning.
Oh, really? Just
even though
silhouettes?
They keep them in the shadows.
Yeah.
When the nurse walks in at the very beginning, you kind of see the light hit her face briefly, and she doesn't have the pig face. It's just normal.
Really?
Which was smart. It was smart not to use the makeup until the very end. And you even see when the actors do have the makeup on, they act in such a way that their body movements shield their face from the camera.
Especially at the time, in the 60s, seeing this on TV, odds are you wouldn't have a repeat viewing for a long time afterwards. So you wouldn't have a chance to check that out. So you wouldn't be looking for that. So
yeah, you wouldn't notice it.
Not a high definition third viewing in a row.
But having, or third, I don't know how many times I've seen this. That's true. That's true. And knowing how it's going to end.
Yeah.
And when I was watching that one last night, I was like, I really wish I didn't know how this ended.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to experience that twist.
Yeah.
And not know it was coming.
No, I would say the majority of Twilight Zone episodes have that twist, but are you like me in thinking the stronger episodes have that big shock twist ending?
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes I just like the morality at the end of them, the morality tales. I think this one does have a twist, but it kind of falls into that too. But yeah, It's a Good Life didn't really have a twist.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
It just kind of ended.
The majority do, but some don't. Same for the Shatner episode. Not really a twist. You could say there is one that
was real the whole time.
Yeah, but it's kind of a shock to the whole thing, really.
True.
Yeah.
So that's the 4 we watched for this.
Yeah.
Do you have any others that you? You were telling me about.
Oh yeah, The Long Morrow. So in the future of 1987, an astronaut is on a solo trip across space. It's going to take a 40-year round trip. It'd be 20 years there, 20 years back. A few days before he's scheduled to leave, he falls in love with a young girl, a 20-something-year-old girl in his area, and they confess their undying love for each other. Now, what's going to happen, the plan was when he goes there, 20 years back, they're going to kind of cryogenically freeze him so he wouldn't be aged by the time he came back. He'd, have his whole life to live ahead of him. So he's going to do that, and as soon as he leaves shortly after, they have the same program open up for civilians. So the love of his life while he's gone says, you know what? I'm going to freeze myself. Therefore, in 40 years when he comes back, we'll both be in our 20s, and we can live happily ever after the rest of our lives. She does that, freezes herself, wakes up as a 20-something-year-old female, waits for him outside of the shuttle to come back in. He comes in as a decrepit, crippled 70-something-year-old man. What happened was on his way there, he realizes true love has no age, so he's going to spend these 40 years isolated by himself and age naturally. So whenever he comes back to Earth 40 years later, his true love will be an old woman as well, and they can live their few remaining years together. And it's kind of ironic, has that big twist at the ending. They come face to face. She's still a beautiful 20-year-old, and he's in his 60s, maybe 70s. It's kind of like an oh damn moment.
And she instantly walked off.
Yeah. She's like, okay, well.
No, I've got my whole life ahead of me.
I forget the actual line, but it's kind of like, wow, I hope I can remember this true love that you've done for me, but see ya. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. I think that's kind
Peace out, Grandpa.
It's like an overshadowed episode, but as a kid, I saw that, and that stuck with me. Mm-hmm. I like it a lot. What about you?
Very Gift of the Magi.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's so funny. Mm-hmm. I had that as a trivia answer a few weeks ago. I never heard of that until...
You never read Gift of the Magi?
Never heard of that until a few weeks ago. And here
I really question the educational system.
I never heard of that, yeah. All
right, let's talk a bit about Twilight Zone, the movie.
Okay, yeah.
I think I'm going to tell you something right now.
Yeah.
That will make you spend the $10 just to rent it.
Or the $41 to buy it?
With you, it might make you buy it.
Yeah.
The Rod Serling dialogue at the beginning, you unlock this door with the key of imagination.
Yeah.
In Twilight Zone, the movie, that is read by Burgess Meredith.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That needs to be seen. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And what year was that?
Twilight Zone, the movie, came out in 1983.
83?
Was it 83? Yeah, it came out in 83.
Okay. So post Rocky 3, right before Rocky 4. I can do that. That's after he died in Rocky 3.
Get up, Rock.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, so wow. His Mickey contract was up. He's looking for more work. That's what happened there.
This featured segments directed by John Landis, George Miller, Steven Spielberg, and Joe Dante.
Wow.
Were all the directors. The John Landis one, that's the one that
has the bad mark on it.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
That actual death happened while they were filming that.
Now, what was the actual story? I know what happened in the set and the chopper and the Vietnam, but what's the actual... Do you remember the story on John Landis' story? What's the plot for that? Do you remember that at all?
You're about to meet an angry man, Mr. William Connor, who carries on his shoulder a chip the size of the national debt. This is a sour man, a lonely man, who's tired of waiting for the breaks that come to others but never to him. Mr. William Connor, whose own blind hatred is about to catapult him into the darkest corner of the Twilight Zone. Mm-hmm. So it's about this old, bitter, racist man. And he's sent basically back to the Vietnam War and has the opportunity to rescue these very innocent Vietnamese children. During the fall of Saigon, I think is when it's taking place. And Vic Morrow plays the bitter old man. And then he died, and the children died in the scene they were doing where he's actually rescuing them.
Right, yeah.
Where the chopper actually crashed on them in real life. And, like I said, this pretty much killed the career of John Landis for a long time.
Wow. That video's online. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a crazy video to see.
Wow.
That's actually the first one up in the movie. And then the next one's called Kick the Can, directed by Steven Spielberg. This is a very Steven Spielberg.
Spielberg has it? Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a very Spielberg-ish segment because it's about old people who suddenly find themselves as children again.
Really?
Yeah, that's it.
It's like Big Top Pee-wee.
Yeah, it's pretty much. That's really the plot of Kick the Can.
Yeah.
It's at a retirement home, and you got all these old people reminiscing about them when we were kids. All of a sudden, they're kids again.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's a Good Life is the third segment in the film.
Uh-huh.
And then the last segment is Nightmare at 20,000 Feet.
Wow. So those two you just spoke of, those were rehashes, remakes, but the other ones were fresh stories, or were those episodes of the original series as well?
I think these were original stories.
So kind of half and half, like new stories, old stories. That's
Right.
cool. And you said the one about the boy with the powers. What's the name of that one?
It's a Good Life.
That wasn't the sequel, but that was a remake of the original story.
Yes.
The sequel is later on in the 2000s version of the show, correct?
Right.
Okay, I'm getting those mixed up.
Yeah, It's a Good Life was a remake of the original one. And the only difference is it's just updated.
Yeah.
It's in the 1980s. So you have 80s references, and actually it's a little creepier than the one we watched last night.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it has a creepier vibe to it.
Huh.
I think the kid's better in the series.
Oh, really? In the series?
But with Joe Dante's touch to this, he's just got a real knack for creeping you out with the imagery.
Yeah.
And it's creepy.
I say The Burb's the scariest non-horror movie I've ever seen. Some people they say it's not a horror movie. I think it's a horror movie. Don't you think The Burbs is kind of a horror movie? Some say comedy.
See, I would put it as comedy. We've had this debate just a couple weeks ago.
Right, yeah.
I say comedy.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like you said, though, some scary imagery for sure.
There is. Yeah.
Without a doubt.
What would you call The Gremlins? Would you call that a horror movie or a comedy?
That's a child's comedy.
That's Joe Dante.
Right. Yeah.
It is not a child's comedy.
It's
not a child's comedy.
Maybe I should watch that again. Like, I have not a lot of love for those movies.
You should go back and watch it.
It's been a while. We're talking 25 years or so.
Gremlins is awesome.
Yeah.
But I will almost say I like Gremlins 2, the new batch, more.
I know you say that.
Because it's just a straight-up parody of Gremlins.
Yeah.
Done really well.
Hulk Hogan's in there, right?
Depends on which one you watch.
Oh, really? And the one I've always saw, he was in there. That's funny.
In the original home video release, it was John Wayne.
Whoa.
But in the theatrical release, it was Hulk Hogan.
Was that weird?
Because the way they shot it is, it's the same thing happens. Like the Gremlins get into the movie.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
in the theatrical release, Hogan's in a theater watching Gremlins 2, and then the Gremlins get up into the projector booth, and so the usher comes down and is like, Mr. Hogan, the Gremlins have got into the projector booth. What, brother?
What, brother? Wow. I could have sworn I've seen the Hogan version, though. That's weird.
And then, that could be the one. But
Yeah.
I know when it was originally released on home video, it was a segment with John Wayne, where the Gremlins were messing with the John Wayne home video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was home video.
Right, yeah.
But I think now if you see it, it's Hogan.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Makes more sense. A little more modern.
What, brother? It says here, originally the segment with the timeout with Vic Morrow. Originally the segment was to end with Bill returning to his own time, redeeming himself by saving the lives of 2 Vietnamese children during the helicopter raid on their village. The aforementioned scene was dropped due to the death of Morrow and the 2 child actors during filming. Wow. So they kept everything and just didn't do the ending. I can't believe that would never happen today.
Not at all, no.
There's no way you could do. Imagine if they were going to do what's an anthology? What's another anthology? Like a more current American Horror Story.
Okay, yeah.
We're going to do an American Horror Story movie, and then somebody like the star of the first segment dies while making it. That would never make it to theaters.
No, not at all.
But different time before the internet.
The Crow happened. It's close-ish, yeah.
What did?
The Crow?
The Crow. That's true.
Yeah, that was 10 years after this, so
that's true.
That was still 25 years ago.
Did happen.
Yeah.
But did they leave that scene in there?
Not the scene. I don't believe the scene.
Yeah. Or did it happen during? Well, it did happen during film.
Yeah. But Brandon Lee's still the majority of the times in the movie. But yeah, you're right. Today it wouldn't happen.
And there's been lots of versions of Twilight Zone.
I know, and I've only seen this original 50s and 60s series. I've seen none of the remakes.
Because there was one in the 80s. It's almost like every decade has their own version of the Twilight Zone.
Right.
There's one in the 80s. I believe there was one in the 90s. And apparently there was one in the early 2000s that I've never seen. Yeah, wait a minute.
Was that Forrest Whitaker?
Was that Forrest Whitaker?
I think Forrest Whitaker, because I was excited
that was the
about
early
that.
2000s, right?
I think I watched 10 minutes and I was done. It's Forrest Whitaker.
I know I've talked about this before. My favorite episode of the 80s version of Twilight Zone was the mom who could stop time with a whistle. Because the whole point was she was at her wit's end because she was so busy. No one, respects what she's doing for the family. The kids are loud. The husband's demanding. Everything's going 100 miles an hour all the time. And she's gifted a whistle by a magic man. And when she blows the whistle, she stops time.
Huh.
Everything freezes. So she can blow the whistle when things get too crazy and take a couple of minutes to recoup, blow it again, and then time starts back. And once again...
It's like a red light, green light.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really was. Much like the H-bomb in the Burgess Meredith episode, you get little hints that the Russians are going to bomb or could bomb the United States. And so the episode ends with the thing coming on television, the emergency broadcast system. America's being bombed. She runs out. In the distance, you can see missiles coming in, and she blows the whistle and freezes time. What do you do? If the minute she unfreezes time, the bombs are going to hit.
What happens?
That's how it ends.
Really?
Mm-hmm. You don't know. I mean, it's a choice she has to make. It's almost like a Sophie's Choice.
Wow.
What do you do? Well, it's not really a Sophie's Choice. There's no good choice in that.
Sophie's wasn't either.
That's true.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you could say, well, she could try to get her family somewhere safe, but how do you
move them?
Where would you be safe?
Yeah.
Or you're just stuck there until you die watching these bombs about the land.
Was that set in like modern times?
Yeah,
at the
that was
time,
modern
or like
times.
a post-apocalyptic.
I wish I could find the name of that episode.
Weird.
I would pay $10 to see that episode again.
I'd pay $10.
I did not watch any. I watched a little bit of the 90s. I've seen a couple episodes from the 90s, and I didn't watch any of the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Forrest Whitaker could ruin the Super Bowl if he was there.
Why are you so anti?
I don't like him.
Why?
I don't know.
Can you explain it?
I just have a feeling, a gut feeling.
What's some other anthologies that we have today?
As far as like horror anthology movies, or what do you mean?
Or TV shows? Do we have any? Black Mirror.
Black Mirror. That's about it, and that's very close to.
Yeah, because I said American Horror Story, but that's not really an anthology.
No, it's
that's an episodic.
seasonal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every season's different, but episode's the same. Yeah, I guess Black Mirror. That's close as we have. Have you heard of the new season? I believe it's going to be a choose your own adventure season
of Black Mirror.
Yeah, they announced that a few days ago.
How?
No one knows, but the way it releases, it's going to be a choose your own adventure episode each time.
So if you want to do this, then you go here.
I'm sure you use a remote to go.
I was watching the Emmys, and apparently there was a Star Trek inspired episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
That won several Emmy awards.
Right,
Have you watched that?
Yeah, it's good.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's really. I mean, they can't say Star Trek, but it's
It's Star Trek inspired.
Yeah.
What's the hook of the episode? Is it a TV show, kind of like Galaxy Quest?
Yeah, it's like that. You should watch it. I want to read.
Are they on a TV show like Galaxy Quest?
You'll see. You know how this works. You know how Black Mirror is.
Or is it actually?
It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
I was surprised to see that up there for so many nominations.
Yeah. Well, the kid that plays the Kirk character was on Breaking Bad.
Really?
And I think he looks like a fat Matt Damon.
Fat Damon?
Fat Damon.
I can see
Fat Damon.
I can see that. Yeah. I can see that. Actually, I think when I first saw it, I thought it was him. Because they've had some big names in Black Mirror.
Yeah. Well, the first time I saw him on Breaking Bad, I was like, is that Matt Damon?
No,
it's
Fat Damon. They've had some big names recently. Bryce Dallas Howard was in the most recent season.
Really?
Yeah, she was the main character of an episode.
Was a dinosaur chasing her?
No. She was dressed like that, though. It's a cool episode. Hers was pretty cool.
Running in heels?
It was very it's all kind of near future, very technology driven. And hers was all about in the future we have a social media app that is the social media app. And after every single interaction you have with a person, you go on their personal profile and give them a thumbs up or thumbs down pretty much. And your social life, the people you hang out with, even your job is all based around your actual rating. And so if I bumped into you at the store and we had a conversation, based on that conversation, immediately when we stopped talking, I would bring out my phone and rate you thumbs up, thumbs down.
Wow.
And based on your total rating, once your rating gets below a certain level, you can't have, you can't go to certain gyms, you can't have certain jobs. And so she kind of got below a certain level and had to bring it up to where she belonged again. It was cool.
Said to be nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're real nice. You're doing real good there,
exactly.
Anthony. It's real nice. You're
like
doing a real nice job.
It's like that.
That's real fine. That's real fine.
Yeah.
What you did with that gopher, that's real fine.
That three-headed gopher. Wasn't it a collie he killed in the outside?
Yes.
It was a collie, right?
That's the most disturbing part.
Because this was the time of, last he was on TV, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
They couldn't say, a Lhasa Apso or something?
maybe. You would think. Is that Bob Sullivan's dog out there? I don't like dogs. Dogs are mean. Now, not all dogs are mean. And then you just hear the dog yelp. And then you see Cloris Leachman run in. Was that Bob's dog? Did you put him in the cornfield?
I think it was the cornfield.
Man. Did you send that dog to the cornfield, son?
That was a creepy one.
That dog didn't like me. Wow.
I can only imagine, we still talk about it with high regard. I can imagine 50 years ago what this did for TV, the Twilight Zone. Can only imagine.
It had to be, literally had to be must-see TV.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine. Was TV better back then?
No. Don't trick yourself. It was not.
Because you had Twilight Zone, you had Night Galleries, you had, but you also had My Mother the Car.
Yeah.
And Petticoat Junction.
Don't forget, you had the bad ones.
And Gilligan's Island.
Yeah. Car 54, are you? I mean, come on.
The Munsters.
You want for hey, wait a minute. I did this week watch The Munsters Today. You remember that one? Back in the 90s, they tried to reboot the show.
Is that the one with James?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Marston Marsters. He's either Cyclops, a voiceover actor, Eddie Munster, or
from Buffy the
Vampire Slayer, or a cowboy from Rockstar. That's James Marston, right?
I think yes.
It's so many.
No, it's John Marston.
See?
John Marston's from Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
James Marsters is from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Is that a Marsters with a T or Marsders?
Marsters.
Okay.
James Marsden.
Yeah.
Is Cyclops.
Okay.
Jason
Marsden,
right?
Yeah, we'll say yes.
Is from Goof Troop.
Yeah, and Eddie Munster. Which, by the way, if we're talking this, and I've said it before, Herman Munster, Frankenstein's a monster.
Right.
Lily, Bride of Frankenstein.
Right. Dracula.
Is the mailman a werewolf? Where did Eddie come from? He's a werewolf. He's supposed to be a werewolf.
Oh, he is a werewolf.
Yeah. So for a long time, I thought he was a vampire as well. But it said in some episodes he's an actual a werewolf.
He's a werewolf.
How do you have Frankenstein's monster mate with the Bride of Frankenstein and give a werewolf with a grandfather Dracula?
Oh, that's a good point.
Something's fishy. Little furry hands.
Did he have a sister? Or am I confusing with Adam's Family?
We were thinking Marilyn, but she was the visiting cousin, the living cousin, but she was
totally normal.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, Eye of the Beholder, pretty.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Yeah, they thought she was hideous, but she looked like Marilyn Monroe, pretty much. That's true. That's what happened.
She's one of those.
Yeah, you're thinking Wednesday Addams and Pugsley.
I was thinking Wednesday Addams.
Yeah. Wouldn't you say that Munsters are much better than the Addams Family? Oh,
I'm just thinking about it before I give my answer.
Is this a Halloween hot take here?
JP's Halloween hot take. Don't hate me.
Yeah.
They're both equal in my head.
Really? Nothing wrong with that. I mean,
I like the Munsters, but I also like the Addams Family.
I love the Munsters. I like Addams Family. The Munsters are special.
I like Herman Munster.
Great theme song. Great car. Yeah. That surf rock
funny
kind
that Fall Out Boy would sample that
right.
in 2016 and have a hit.
And it kind of worked, yeah.
It did work.
Yeah. Yep.
Can we do some Adam's Ghost before we leave?
If you want to.
I mean, we really haven't done it in quite some time.
You want to?
It's kind of our Halloween
the go-to thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can pull up the music.
Let's do it.
Don't you always have some Adam's Ghost ready?
It's always there. I have a huge database.
I thought you had people that went out and gathered these for you.
Yeah, the database. They submit that to the database, and I pull it up when I want to.
Do you have an Excel spreadsheet?
I do. Yeah. Yeah.
Does it calculate? Do you have the calculate turned on?
Yes. The formulas are in. Which location do you want to hear, JP? It's a host choice tonight.
Do I pick anywhere?
Anywhere in the world. maybe.
In the world.
Certain countries I can give you.
We did Australia already, right?
We did, yeah.
How about... Did we do Quebec?
I believe we did. Yeah, I think we did.
What about Scotland?
Ooh. I do not have Scotland. What about South Korea?
I could go with South Korea. International Adams Ghost. Adams Ghost International happens now on Podcast Roll.
How about in Seoul, South Korea? At the University of Seoul. That sounds like a good album.
It was your third album.
Yeah.
University of Seoul?
It was said by some whom have stayed in some of the older dorms in the University of Seoul that it was haunted by poltergeist activities. Some entities were kind and happy, while others were restless and angered. The people of the dorms either moved out due to fear or treat the entities with respect so that they don't harm and make the spirits feel at content. Bad translation, I guess. At the University of Seoul.
I don't know who's writing your stuff for your database.
Here we go. At the Osan Air Force Base. At a certain hill.
This is an American Air Force base.
Yeah. At Hill 180 in South Korea.
I actually know somebody who was stationed there.
Really? Mm-hmm. The site of the first battle between American and North Korean communist forces during the opening months of the Korean War is what Hill 180 is, apparently. A depleted American unit closed... It's bad translations. This says, they closed with and destroyed a communist unit, which was entrenched on the hill of 180. Both sides ran out of ammunition and gave the area its present name, Bayonet Hill. That's what it's called now. Anytime you walk down the road on the hill alone, you'll hear whispers very close by soldiers. And if you stop at the top of the hill for a few moments, you will always feel warm breath on your neck and ears. These things happen constantly to anyone going alone there, and the spirits are harmless, just like messing with people they do.
Can I throw a wild card in?
Do it.
Let's go to Mississippi.
Oh, you want some Mississippi?
They got better ghosts.
How about Columbus, Mississippi?
Columbus, Mississippi. Let's do this.
The Mississippi University for Women. That's still a thing?
Wow.
Specifically, the Callaway Hall.
Hello, I'm here for class.
The ghost of Mary can be seen in the top...
Mary?
Mary, yeah. The ghost of Mary can be seen in the top floor window looking for her long-lost love.
Where is my long-lost love?
Sometimes she even sits and visits the freshman girls at night and sits on the edge of their beds to weep.
Hey, girls.
Because
he doesn't come.
She can't find her long-lost love. That's in Columbus, Mississippi. The Mississippi University for Women, which I don't believe is still a thing, at Callaway Hall. How about the OK Battle Cleaners in Crystal Springs, Mississippi?
Okay.
In the bathroom in this place around 10:45, you can sometimes hear the door open and close. In the back room, there have even been times when you can hear footsteps and the lights go on and off, and there have been times reported when the microwave has gone off and on by itself. When they lock up the doors there have been odd times when the owner has come back to get something.
I forgot something. I'll be right back.
And the door has been, what this says, unlooked. We'll think it's unlocked.
Well, it's Mississippi.
The employees have seen misty figures floating around and then disappearing when someone comes in. They even hear a loud, screeching noise.
Has anybody seen my Three Musketeers?
Like a snapping turtle. What does that sound like? What does a snapping turtle sound like? And that's at the OK Battle Cleaners in Crystal Springs, Mississippi.
What? What did you say, Snappy?
How about at the downtown hospital in Laurel, Mississippi?
Gorge?
The actual Laurel Machine and Finery Road at the hospital. It's all one thing. When you go down this road at night, you'll see people run out in front of your car.
Hey, watch out.
But if you look back, they just stand there, staring at you. No one will go down the road on a full moon night The production plant on the road will not even work at night when it's a full moon.
What?
Visions of seeing a girl drenched in blood and loud screams have even been reported at the Laurel Machine and Finery Road in Laurel, Mississippi.
Usually Mississippi's a gold mine for ghost stories. I don't know. I don't know what's up this week.
Here we go. Ready for this? I'll give you one more. This one could be a doozy.
From Laurel, Mississippi.
I feel good about this one. In Brooklyn Acres, it's a subdivision in Brooklyn, Mississippi.
Dun, 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 dun.
There's a ghost of a young boy that haunts the Brooklyn Acres at night. That
was a little abrupt, sorry.
It is said that many people have spotted him drinking his root beer and eating his candy cigarettes.
I am honestly shocked that when we did the biggest candy in Mississippi, candy cigarettes was not in the top 5.
It was Three Musketeers, remember?
I know. Not root beer and candy cigarettes. Jamie. Don't forget your root beer. Here's your candy cigarettes.
The boy's name is Sean, and Sean was picked on very much as a kid. He couldn't take it anymore, and now he's come back searching for the friends he never had while eating his candy cigarettes and drinking his root beer. And that is in Brooklyn Acres in Brooklyn, Mississippi.
You think that he rolls them up in his T-shirt?
What kind of ghost drinks root beer and eats candy cigarettes?
The best kind? The coolest ghost you'll ever meet.
That's funny. Wow. I don't think I can top that one tonight.
You can't.
This is as good as it gets.
Sean, huh?
Yeah, Sean. Sean from Brooklyn, Mississippi. Once again, if you have good locations for Adam's Ghosts, let us know. We'll visit the place.
And we'll even take our root beer and candy cigarettes.
Yeah, now I want some sugary treats.
Yeah, kind of do. I am kind of hungry. Is it too late to eat? It's 1:09.
Yeah, 1:09 a.m.
You can connect with us via many outlets.
Many ways.
Including adamandjp.com.
Of course, Facebook.com/AdamandJP. On Twitter at AdamandJP. And Patreon.com/podcastroll for some fun extra goodies in there as well.
Or go to our Apple Podcast page.
Yeah.
Leave us a 5-star review.
Do it.
And 5-star rating.
Yeah.
And leave us a review.
Last time
appreciate that.
we had a rush, you ate an old expired Twinkie.
That's true. I
and
sure did.
The jar of pickles still sits there jiggling at me. I see the nice film on top.
Look
by
how
the way.
gross that looks now.
It's great.
Look how gross those pickles. I'm not eating those
That's
ever.
what it was open 6 months ago, 7 months ago.
March.
Yeah, 7 months ago now.
Let's
Wow.
see if we have any new reviews on the old Apple Podcast. You can hear the flicker in the background.
Ooh, the old wood crackle.
The old wood crackle. I don't think we have anything new this week. No.
Oy vey.
Well, you can be on here next week.
That's true. You do it, we'll talk about it.
We will.
Yeah.
We promise. Just send us go to the Apple Podcast.
Yeah.
You can do it on any of the other outlets, but I don't read those.
It's true. That's the one you read.
So if you want me to see it,
Yeah.
put it on Apple Podcast. Otherwise, we'll be back next week with
Yeah.
part 1 of our Halloween Super Show.
That's true. And we have a special guest.
We have 2 shows left this Halloween.
That's sad. It's time for that big Halloween rush.
I thought we were in the big Halloween rush. I thought this was the big Halloween. Is there something I'm missing? Are you expecting something I'm not doing for you?
Before we do that next week, go on get the Shudder app. I promise you.
Yeah?
Shudder is the way to go.
Should we tease what we got coming up next week?
Let's still tease, yeah.
You know,
we have a
what do you
special
think?
guest.
Josh is going to be here.
Josh is coming back. If you remember last year, we had a game called Dead and Rotten, where I kind of rattle off some movies, and you and Josh both kind of guessed the idea of the Rotten Tomato meter, what that's rated for, the Metacritic, the aggregate score across the internet. So I'll kind of name off some horror movies, and you tell me the scores on those.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be fun.
We're going to do Halloween hot takes.
I think we should do Halloween hot takes. What do you think of that?
So
I think Halloween is fun because you have candy we always talk about. You have Halloween traditions. You have Halloween movies, horror-themed stuff. And everyone has certain opinions. And sometimes those opinions aren't with the popular opinions. So we all have our own Halloween hot takes. We're bringing those next week.
would you like me to tease with a JP Halloween hot take?
Tease me. Give me an example of what a Halloween hot take could be.
Halloween hot take. Rob Zombie films are terrible.
Oh.
They're terrible.
You see, that would happen. I would be sad and we would discuss. What would happen? You really think that? Really? Really?
Prove me wrong.
Oh, okay. Well, save that for next week, please.
Oh, man. And Josh is going to be here. All he knows are Rob Zombie movies. That's going to be terrible.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
It's going to be as bad as a Rob Zombie movie.
Oh, man.
For me.
Less
it's going
profanity?
to be my own personal Rob Zombie movie.
That's funny.
I'm Jay Patrick. That's Adam.
Eat your podcast roll.
I'm stepping into the Twilight Zone. This is the madhouse. Feels like being gone. My beacon's been moved on the moon and star. Where am I to go now that I've gone too far? I'm stepping into the Twilight Zone. This is the madhouse. Feels like being gone. My beacon's been moved on the moon and star. Where am I to go now that I've gone too far? So you will come and go when the bullet hits the bone. So you will come and know when the bullet hits the bone. I'm falling down a spiral, destination unknown. Double cross messenger, all alone. Can't get no connection, can't get through. Where are you? Well, the night weighs heavy on his guilty mind. This far from the borderline. When the hitman comes, he knows damn well he has been cheated. And he says, "Help, I'm stepping into the Twilight Zone. This is the madhouse. Feels like being gone. My beacon's been moved on the moon and star. Where am I to go now that I've gone too far? Help, I'm stepping into the Twilight Zone. This is the madhouse. Feels like being gone. My beacon's been moved on the moon and star. Where am I to go now that I've gone too far? So you will come and go when the bullet hits the bone. So you will come and go when the bullet hits the bone. When the bullet hits the bone.
This has been a production of the Adam and JP family of on-demand talk radio.
AdamandJP.com.
Right now.